Wow, wow. I want vagina abs to stick. That sounds so awful.
Daddy, what's that?
Cyborg, I want to point out that you can't say the word wolf. You said night wolf before, and it's pissed me off ever since.
No beta code. I'm surprised.
Not bowing down to the con. That's a paddling.
Hey, Cyrax boy, guess what?
Who the fuck doesn't like Yoshi?
I don't like Yoshi.
What the fuck?
Yoshi.
How do we feel about Tremor? Because I gotta say this. I want to see him come.
Yes, but it's because I'm actually peeing in a bucket at the bottom of my seat. So like,
Naitara's design.
You know, you're saying Naitara again.
Oh shit, thank you.
Just let go.
I'm on so many drugs at the moment.
Great. Glad to hear it.
Alright, well, I'm done being serious. We can talk about the taste of cock again. If that's what you guys want to.
Wait, what?
This is my fucking ass hanging out. What, bitch?
Are we
Guys,
even
not
recording right
understand-
now?
We're not recording, of course not.
wondering.
Nobody's gonna listen to this.
I hear like the sound of like bullets being loaded into a chamber and like shots being fired.
Is it like an air gun? I don't.
I'm hearing like Russian roulette like right up next to the mic. What's going on? Yep, definitely taking shots with a rifle.
Welcome to the Netherkast. I am Cyborg, as always, joined by temporary username and Shadaloo. No Razor right now. That could change. He may be on. You never know. We almost didn't have Shad for the night. How are you feeling, my man?
Oh man, delirious. It's amazing. These chips are giving me life. I got some Arizona green tea right here. But no, I almost went to the hospital tonight. I phoned. I wrote BC on Facebook, said I probably wouldn't be here tonight. I've been having some breathing problems for roughly the last year. Like quitting smoking is not a coincidence. I'm gonna just finish these chips.
Yeah, you finish the chips. I'll finish doing our thing over here.
All right, so yeah.
Glad you're all right, though. Dang.
Yeah, no
I've
kidding.
been having some breathing problems, which are, related to the fact that I quit smoking. I got diagnosed with COPD a couple months ago. So yeah, that played a major part in my deciding to start to try to live. So now my days are full of a lot of jogging and exercising and trying to eat right and kind of indulging myself with these nachos here at the moment because I'm a very weak man and nachos are amazing.
Nachos are good.
So I'll say in advance if I wind up dropping dead out of an asthma attack, it's been a pleasure. And I've loved being with you all. I've loved having you as an audience. You're very good people, and I've loved my fellow hosts. All platonically, of course, no homo, and it's been really cool. I've liked life for the most part. Not to get all morbid and everything, but I am.
No, it's been good, but on that note, please don't die. We like having you around.
Doing my absolute best not to. Just that, like, I get mornings like I did in, like this one where I'll walk up to the bus stop and I feel like I'm having a fucking heart attack, and I don't know why. Just different triggers, stuff sets it off. Shit sucks.
Yeah, keep us updated on that. That sounds intense. That sounds heavy.
Yeah, I'm glad you're feeling better. I know it wasn't a guarantee that you'd make it tonight, so I'm glad things are at least going well enough for you to be here, and just in general for your life. This is obviously not that important in the grander scheme of things, and even in the less grander scheme of things, it's still not that important.
Well, that's not solid shorts. We're as far as the MK community goes, we're pretty much the most awesome non-competitive folk out there.
I mean,
I think we're the only ones, really.
Yeah,
We're all that's left. Everyone else is pretty much a video series at this point. Yeah.
Speaking of us, and I got a couple things to mention. Off the bat, I do want to mention the usual. If you're not aware, we do have a Discord, so you can come join the Discord. The link is pinned on the Facebook group, so if you haven't found the Facebook group, hey, go find the Facebook group, not the Facebook page. The Facebook group that you actually have to ask to join. I will accept you. It's kept on private, so look for that. And then we have a Discord. It's also on every YouTube video that I post up there now. It's automatically by default in the description, so you can find the Discord invite there. You don't need anything else. You can use your browser to get to Discord. You can download the app. It's free, 100%. So don't worry about any of that. It's just there for our community. Right now we have about 45 people in the Discord. So come check it out. There's a lot of discussion that constantly goes on between everybody else that listens as well as us. So you'll get a lot of that. You can post your questions for the show, post them for the Warrior Shrine, and then listen live like right now, and people can come on the show towards the end of the show. We usually like to have a couple of guests on, whoever feels like asking something or talking about something. So definitely check out the Discord community as well as the Facebook community. We are on Twitter, YouTube, all that good stuff, of course. You already know that probably. You had to have been listening to us somewhere, if not iTunes or something. So check out that. Anyways, and if you are into Mortal Kombat forums, if you're more into the forum boards, or you want to get more into the competitive aspects and learn your characters, etc., we can't recommend enough testyourmight.com. So definitely go check out testyourmight.com if you want the Mortal Kombat forum experience and that whole community aspect, which is where we all started, was on Mortal Kombat forum boards. So definitely go check those out as well. Now, going forward, the other thing I wanted to mention is I had actually gone back and listened to one of our old episodes. It was the one with the cousin fucker.
Still one of my favorite episode titles.
Yes, it
I
was.
never visited that one. It was funny. I want to listen to that one.
Dude,
day.
it's good. This is the first time I've gone back to listen to that, and in general, one of like, I'm getting an echo from one of you. La 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 la. Yeah. Okay, it's gone. It's just hit and miss. Anyways, I went back and I made the mistake of listening to this while I was at work. Like, I had headphones on, so no one else could hear it. But anyways, it was like 3 hours. I was trying so hard not to be obnoxiously laughing while I'm just sitting there at my little work computer and everyone's around me on their work computers. And I'm just sitting there like, I'm doing that shaking laugh, like where it's obvious that I'm laughing and I'm like shaking, but I'm trying to keep it inside. It was so funny that it's the graveyard shift. It's coming from Temp. Temp is the echoer here. I knew it was you. I knew it was you.
I'll turn down my headset volume, see if that makes a difference.
Anyways, this was hilarious, not just for the cousin fucker bit, but also just, it was all those would you rather this or this, and it was just hilarious. So that graveyard shift episode was great. That's from a couple years ago, back in 2015, I believe. But yeah, good stuff on that. I was I hadn't laughed that hard in a while, so definitely check that out if you're a newer listener and you want to listen to us from a couple years back and some silly, just casual talking. We weren't really talking about MK or anything, as was usual for the graveyard shifts. We usually recorded them quite late, so there's been some asking of doing another one of those more recent ones. So we'll see if we can make that happen one of these upcoming weekends. With that out of the way, we have some questions to get to. It looks like we got a few more questions since we wiped them all out the last time, and then we'll bring people on if anybody wants to come listen or come on and talk to us. Other than that, we'll just kind of talk about whatever the hell we feel like. There was we should probably mention right away, there was the legendary edition of Injustice 2 just announced. Does anybody care about that at all?
I mean, there's some people who are salty about it. They're just upset that, that they bought the game and now a year later there's an edition that has I think not all the content, but most of the content. I guess my only response to that would be,
what do you expect?
You pay $60 to play the game. Is it worth waiting a year to save like $20 to $30? I mean, that's why you pay $60 to play a year in advance.
Right.
That's how I see it. So
that's how I've always seen it. I saw those same complaints that you're talking about, and I'm 100% defending the actual, like, putting out a version like that. I mean, I just don't understand this logic of, I paid for all of this and now you're bundling it all up for the same price that I paid before. Maybe I should, like, next time I should know better and just wait. I'm in 100% agreement with you. I mean, if you want to if you want to save yourself $30 and you're cool with waiting a year, hey, do it. Then if you clearly don't need to play the game that bad if you're okay with waiting a year, so I don't know why you bought it in the first place, like right day one. This is not new. They've done this with the past 2 or 3 games. This is pretty common for games that put out, season passes and stuff like that.
If you have a problem with this, consider this kind of logic. You buy a comic book, right? You buy a series. You have a series on your pull list.
Yep.
You get through an arc, like 3 or 4 or 5 issues.
Mm-hmm.
Then you walk into the comic store a couple months later, and there's a trade paperback containing those self-same issues.
Yep.
Do you proceed to rage and roid and hulk out and perhaps urinate all over the racks, write an angry letter
Sometimes.
to your congressman? I
Yeah.
think you would not.
No,
I do not think you would.
I don't think so.
So, I mean, fucking deal with it, honestly.
It's still,
This
well, I
wa-
mean, that's
th- th-
everything.
This was always going to happen.
That's everything. I mean, what you're saying
It's,
right
it's
now.
going to happen with MK11. It is
Yeah,
going to happen with
It will
MK11.
for sure. It will for sure. And it's not just games, it's movies. A movie goes out on Blu-ray, you bet in a year or two it's going to go down in price. It'll be in the $5 bargain bin if you give it a few years. If you care that much about saving a few dollars, yeah, if you give something several years, it's most likely if it's media like that, it's going to go down in price, be it a CD, a movie, a game, whatever the case. Most things go down in price after they've been around for a while. That's just TVs, for example. HD TVs used to cost, $2,000. Then they were $1,500. Then they were $1,000. Now you can get a decent price HD TV for like $500. So, yeah, this is par for the course, people. This is nothing new. This is how things work. Once things become older, unless they have like collective value, they go down in price. That is how things work. And if saving yourself $30 is that worth it, then yeah, maybe next time you should wait. That's just welcome to buying things.
I do agree. It's also
Welcome
a
to
measure
buying
of
video
fandom,
games.
too. Yeah. What's that?
Much. Welcome to buying video games in general. This is
anything.
this is the lesson.
Yeah,
This
anything.
logic applies to everything, and I think it's a big measure of fandom too. I question how much someone cares if they're willing to wait a year, because if you ask me right now, Temp, would you pay $65 right now to play Soul Calibur 5 early? Right now, complete version, full roster.
Is it Soul Calibur 5
Yeah, I
or
would
6?
do it. Oh, 6. I forget 5 existed because it was such a piece of shit.
I
But
think
yeah,
every-
of course I'd pay. If someone asked me, would you pay $100? I would yes, easily I'd pay $100
Sure.
play Soul Calibur 6 now. Like, no question. Yeah,
Sure.
take my money. So if you're willing to wait a year, if you're pissed you got screwed out of like $30, that's just the weirdest shit to me, at least in my opinion.
I agree. I think we're all in agreement here. That's just a silly mentality. I didn't want to pay full price for Tekken or Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, so I waited several months after they first went out, and they went down in price. That's how these things work. If you also wait till like Black Friday sales, usually you can wait 1 or 2 months after these games come out, and on Black Friday it'll be it'll be like $20 cheaper. So I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. Things go on sale. I never understand that. This same thing happened with Friday the 13th. It had been out since last May, and then I think it was around Halloween time last year. So after 4 or 5 months, they put it on Steam sale for half off as part of the Halloween special, like sale. And people were bitching and complaining, like, "What? I paid full price for." People blow my mind how dumb they are. But yes, we shouldn't even be talking about this because it's just that silly. But we do have to talk about it because there are clearly people out there that don't understand.
If you're buying it day one, you're spending $60. If you're buying it day one, you're a fan. If you're spending the $60, you're a fan.
Yeah, and
Just enjoy the fandom.
I would
Just-
say if you are upset about the $30 you had to pay, then it's like, then maybe you shouldn't have bought it at all. Like if $30 is make or break for you, if that's gonna break your budget, if that's then maybe you shouldn't have spent that on the game to begin with.
That's why I bring it up, though. That's why I like talking about it, because I think they do understand. I think they're purposely being petty. Like, they know they're paying, like, what, maybe 10 cents a day by buying it a year early and getting all that up. Like, getting ahead in the meta, learning the character, fleshing out the game.
Not even 10 cents a day. Like, probably even less. I don't know. Either way.
Yeah, probably less. But yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, there was another thing that's kind of along these same lines. Somebody that bought Friday the 13th, he was like, they keep announcing new like things they're gonna put out, like free DLC and stuff, and then some guy complain, and you'll constantly see this where somebody will complain and say, fix your game before you put out new stuff, and it's like, okay, I get that. And then one guy's like, man, I have like an exponential amount of hours put into this game, but it's broken, so I want my money back. Like, First of all, if you've gotten an exponential amount of hours out of the game, you've gotten your money's worth. Whether
it just doesn't work like that. There is no fix stuff before you put it out, because let me tell you how this fucking works. The DLC is planned midway through the game's development cycle in packs and patches, and the fixes, the day one patches, they're being worked on right up until and through launch. There is no X and Y. It's Y, then it's fucking X. This is how shit works.
People are just complaining. What's up, Razor?
Did you start recording yet?
We started recording.
Nope, not at all. Yes. The answer is simply yes.
One of us always tells the truth, and the other one always lies.
Yes. No, wait. What?
You couldn't wait 10 minutes for me to get home.
Look, we had no timetable for you. It could have been another hour.
No, I've been telling you that I'm consistently going to be home at, like, what is it, 9 your time soon?
Let's do this when we get home. We don't need to do this in front of everyone.
All right.
Not in front of the kids.
I'm just saying, it's been several episodes in a row now.
Look, I don't analyze your life, sir.
You've missed one question, and
you didn't even miss a question.
It's like, should people continue to bitch about things that go lower in price after they're out a certain amount of time? The answer is no, not really.
Shut up. I didn't miss a question. That's not a question.
Shut up, you entitled first world fucks.
No one even asked it. We just brought it up ourselves. Anyways, now that you're here, because we were totally waiting for you to get into the question, let's get into the questions. That happened.
That is the question, though? What is the question?
There was no question. We were just commenting on the legendary edition and how people are complaining that they paid full price and now it's discounted.
Oh. Yes. This is the fourth time!
The real question is, 32 flavors?
Ooh. Is that
did you new?
Little deep cut for you DC fans out there.
Have you been living on the moon, under a rock, with your eyes closed and your fingers in your ears? How is this the first time that you understand what a complete edition is?
It's silly.
Some people.
Yes, it's silly. Anyways, so let's actually get to our questions. Starting off, we have Randy Cool 27. If they were to create an MK movie or TV show, what would you want the story to be about? Which characters should it focus on? Director, style, MPPA, not MPAA, MPPA, cast, a new movie or TV show, I mean.
Can I go first?
Sure.
Okay, I would prefer a TV show to a movie because I don't think... I mean, you could use the exact same structure as the first film, just make it 2 hours instead of an hour and a half, and that would give you at least time to do what they did, plus get Scorpion and Sub-Zero right. So maybe the first game at least would work as a film. But like MK3, there's no way you can fit it in a 2 hour slot. It's just... So my answer is I would like a TV show where like each game is a season. And you can have like Netflix length seasons. It doesn't have to be that long. But for like director and cast and all that, there's nobody in Hollywood that I can think of right now who I think could do it justice. So I'm going to say unknowns for like the director and writer and all that. I would say cast is a much longer answer, but I'd really like Lambert back as Raiden.
You know, it'd be a really awesome director for it.
Who?
I forgot his name.
Well, what did he make?
Helpful.
No. yes, very helpful. The guy, what the hell is his name? Oh, Jonathan. I know it. I know it if you just let me talk.
He had the guy do the thing in the Al Pacino movie where Al yells a lot.
No. That is incorrect. False. His name is John Carpenter.
Oh. I mean, he could. I don't know. See, like, a big-name guy who could get the tone right would still have to, like, be interested in the lore in order to do it right.
See, that's my main criteria for a director for this thing. Someone has to give a shit about the source material, or else you get stuff like Deadpool with his lips sewn shut. Artistic visions getting in the way of the actual source material. And I understand artistic integrity for the most part, but yeah, I find that generally the things that are loved the most are the things that hew closely to the source material and treat it with a bit of respect. And yeah, you can't.
Yeah, you need like Marvel has Kevin Feige. Nobody else has that guy, and that's why Marvel is the only company out there really getting adaptation movies right.
And more to the point, like the Sub-Zero and Scorpion angle aside, we've already seen MK1 done a fairly good job of as a single film. Like,
there was just a comment, Adi Shankar. He could maybe do it, but I think he's like a giant edgelord. I don't trust him with it. I think he's like a slightly better Tankerowan.
All right.
I don't know who any of these people are, but I would say
Adi Shankar is, well, he's the producer of the Castlevania anime. But before that, he's mostly known for like YouTube shorts. Like he did that like gritty adult version of Power Rangers, where they're all shooting guns and fucking.
What?
Yeah,
They made
was
a
that the one
movie
from
where
like
they're all
last?
shooting
Was that the one from
guns and
last
fucking?
year?
It was like 2 years ago. Yeah. He also did
They did pretty well in theaters.
like he did one thing I really like. He did Dirty Laundry, which is a Punisher short film that they actually got Thomas Jane back for.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, that was good.
That was very good. Did he also do a Venom one?
Yeah, I think so. I liked the Venom one too.
I would just want James Wan. Honestly, I don't really like the idea of a TV show just because I don't like the whole one-way canon with a Netflix series and Marvel has kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. And I don't know, I just like the heavyweight casting, and I like the idea of recognizable faces playing these characters and really kind of adopting the persona. That sounds fun to me. Seeing randos play Scorpion doesn't do much for me.
The only person I'd want someone I recognize playing a character other than Lambert is Johnny Cage. I don't want someone I know playing Liu Kang. I don't think it can be done right.
I agree.
Jackie Chan.
I still want Karaoke Tagawa back as Shang. Just
You know
no
what?
balls.
You know what? I will amend. Jackie Chan absolutely needs to play Bo Raicho.
That'd be cool.
Because he's at the age now where you don't have to do a lot to him to make him look like Bo. And he is the drunken master.
He doesn't even have to be fat. I'd be okay if he wasn't fat. Just make him drunk, and I'm okay with that.
Misa borracho.
Yeah, see, Jackie would be an improvement on the character of Bo Raicho.
Jar Jar is Bo Raicho. They are one of the same.
That was a wet one.
I just feel like there's a tonal difference between TV and movies. I don't necessarily mean recognizable actors, although that would be a plus if done correctly.
I don't think MK needs a movie budget. I think that's, unless you're going to spend it all on making the sets look nice.
I just don't think TV performances are terribly strong comparably to. They can be good, but I don't think they compare to something like, I don't know, even the original MK movie. I felt like just tonally the performances were very controlled. And I think
see, you say that, but Lyndon Ashby is a TV actor.
Yeah, but I feel like even though I'm not the biggest Paul W.S. Anderson fan, I feel like a good director or a movie director can kind of control the tone of the actors in a way I don't see in TV, especially the Netflix stuff.
Well, see, that's why I'm pro TV, because it's not a director-driven medium; it's a writer-driven medium. I don't like the auteur theory thing about film. I think that's a poison.
But I don't know. I don't like recent examples, and if they make them congruently, I just feel like there's a tonal difference. I feel like this has been a big problem with DC as well. Just the tonal difference between, especially when we have Snyder.
Well, a lot of that is because of auteur theory. It's because of one guy with a vision being in charge of the film. It's, like you have a Zack Snyder, and then this other guy comes in and makes a film in the same universe, but he's doing his own thing. And you're like, well, now they don't fit, and they're both terrible because those directors are terrible. If you had a producer or a writing staff was in charge of all the creative control, then you would have something cohesive.
That is a risk, I agree, but look at Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., just how tonally distinct it is from the films.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is it's like the child they gave up for adoption, though. It's not really Marvel.
That's what I'm worried about. I'm afraid they're going to have real Mortal Kombat in theaters, and this is going to be the B side of the cassette
Well, no, look,
on
here's-
television.
Here's the thing. You're never going to have another Mortal Kombat movie. It's not happening. Don't stop pretending it will exist.
Oh no, strokes his.
James Wan gives me hope.
entirely theoretically, so you have to pick movie or TV. It's not going to be both.
I feel like James Wan has enough bicep to make it happen at this point.
I
Even with
don't-
the Pepsi director.
I don't want James Wan.
I don't
Maybe
necessarily...
I'll feel different for Aquaman, but isn't he mostly a horror guy?
He did horror. He did Fast and Furious as well. For
In
a
a
while,
way,
so.
isn't Mortal Kombat horror?
No, that's the problem.
There's an
That's what
aspect
Rowan
of it.
did wrong.
There is an aspect of it that is, but not in and of itself, no.
No, but like,
And I
there's an
say-
aspect of Mortal Kombat that's cheesy '80s horror. It's Jason Voorhees. It's not Saw.
That's why I said John Carpenter, because
Well, okay, John Carpenter has been the closest to an acceptable answer I've heard.
Big
And I
Trouble
don't-
in Little China.
Exactly,
China.
but
And I wouldn't shit over the
John Carpenter
possibility.
gives a shit about Mortal Kombat, though.
He does
I would
play
not
video
shoot-
games a lot. He does play a lot of video games, like for
Really?
real. He's a big
Dude, I
advocate.
just see him making those cyborgs like perfect. Like the
I would-
fog and then just like the laser lines from the 80s and
I mean, I think, like I said, of all of the names I've heard so far, Carpenter is the closest to someone I could see doing it and doing it well.
You're goddamn right he is.
I really wouldn't shit on the possibility of another MK movie coming out ever. I mean,
I
would've
don't
said
know.
the same-
saying
I
ever,
would've said the
because
same
ever is
thing
a
about
long fucking time.
I would
I'm
have
just
said the same
saying,
thing about Tomb Raider. And somehow there's a new Tomb Raider coming out. Did the new games really make that much of an impression?
apparently they did.
I'm just saying
Mm.
we
But
don't
here's the
have a
thing
lot
is
of
that-
time with Carpenter, so we need to get this going.
He's
That's a
gone
fair
soon.
point.
I agree.
He's a poor guy, but he's lived a good life.
I guess, just to make my piece, Mortal Kombat, in terms of like atmosphere, mood, and aesthetics, is unbelievably unique. It emotionally hits a very specific frequency that nothing else really does. So it's almost impossible to adapt it faithfully. I think it can be done, but I don't think I'm with Razor. I don't think anyone will do
Here's
it.
the other thing. Here's the other thing that TV has over a movie. Mortal Kombat's an ensemble cast. You can do an episode from Scorpion's point of view, an episode from Liu Kang's point of view, etc. You can't do that in a film.
I mean, yeah. Well, we've spent too much damn time on this. So we're gonna move on. Thanks a lot, Randy Cool. Thanks for putting that wonderful question in there. Randy Cool 27. Okay. MK Trilogy Chameleon asks, what non-canon character or previously non-playable character do you think will most likely make it into MK11 as like fan service? Question mark.
Hornbuckle, right?
I mean, if they're gonna pick a single person,
Hornbuckle's the only one left, but I still
I
don't
think
see him
so.
doing it.
they're
Like,
not
they
gonna
give him
call
a new name or something. Like, you wouldn't be he wouldn't be recognizable anymore
There's-
because you can't.
the most
Chrome.
you're gonna
Hornbuckle.
Chrome.
the most you're gonna get is some priest of
Chrome.
Onaga's with green pants,
Chrome.
and that's it.
It'd be cool if you just couldn't see his torso. If his torso was just a big flame, like that would be tight. But I don't think they'll
That's
do it.
Blaze you're thinking of, man. They already
Blaze
got
has,
that guy.
he's all fire. He has to have pants.
Yeah,
He
no,
has to
but
have-
he is that guy though. Like, imagine there's an alternate
Oh, no,
costume
you're
we
right.
never
No,
got
you're right.
where
Saying
Blaze
Chrome.
had pants.
I forgot. The green pants was Hornbuckle.
Yeah.
I got. No, you are absolutely right. I rescind that
And
previous.
for those who've forgotten, in the credits, her name was Leanne Hornbuckle. So it'd be really cool if you actually developed a character called Leanne, and then just
But then you have to change the character's gender.
For those who gave a shit, there you go. It's a cookie. I mean,
She's not
stop
that
saying
person. It's like saying Noob
okay,
Saibot
what
is
is-
Ed Boon. That's not how it works.
What does Blaze really have in common with the half the guy on fire we saw on that bridge?
He's got one extra chromosome.
It's
Oh.
Chrome.
they took the concept of a guy on fire and just reinvented it. This is just taking the concept of a guy with green pants and a stupid fucking name.
Okay, but changing the gender is a pretty big goddamn reinvention.
Yes, a pretty big goddamn reinvention of a 2-inch high Liu Kang palette swap in the background. Who fucking cares?
I'm just saying you have to make it vaguely recognizable.
Okay, green pants, and it's an Onagan priest.
Here's the
and
thing.
There you go.
A girl can't fight shirtless, and the moment you put clothes on his upper body, he's not Hornbuckle.
The only way I would
Is
really be
Blaze
interested...
really Blaze, though? Because, I mean, is Blaze half on fire? Because that's what that sprite originally
You
was.
mean
His
Torch?
legs are red. It doesn't have to be on... It's close
Seriously,
enough.
Torch. We called him Torch. I remember how disappointed I was when it was like, Blaze? Such a shitty fucking name. I still would have preferred to be called Torch.
I'm okay with Blaze. Torch is just as generic.
Torch was proper 90s, man.
You know what else is proper 90s? Chrome.
No, it's not. Stop saying Chrome.
That is
Only
early
this
2010
is
Cyborg.
You are validating the problem when you
Look,
say
You're
that.
validating that one guy from Finland.
Look,
Yeah.
first of all, that guy is gone. He's in the past. You can't. Here's the thing, Shad.
Oh, he's still out there. He's still out there. He's on Twitter, I promise you.
Goldblum. The thing here is that you did not like Tremor and you did not want to give him a chance, but then you changed your mind after they actually made Tremor. So how dare you, Chrome?
Actually, you know what? That's a good...
I changed my mind about Tremor because they actually did a great job with him.
We could have Robert, whatever the hell his name is, from Terminator. We could have that. Yes, we could. Temp,
But then it's
refer to your poster.
I would main Robert Patrick, yes.
Yes. What if they made the character like that, where his limbs like can turn into all these things made out of liquid metal?
That's probably the only way that they would do it, to be really fair.
It would have to be Robert Patrick. Like, his face would have to be Mr. Patrick.
They would do that. They would totally do that.
And guess what? Glacius did it better.
Glacius is tight. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan
but
of Glacius.
Glacius doesn't have Robert Patrick as a voice actor, and Chrome could.
He could.
See, now you're starting to understand.
Glacius is all their fucking ice lances. Have you seen this boy? That would be so fucking sick.
Here's the thing, Mortal Kombat has so many character homages to 80s movies and 90s movies and all of that. If they made Chrome, chances are they would build it off of that character from Terminator.
I'm genuinely... I'm genuinely uncomfortable that your devil's advocate thing is working right now.
I'm just telling you. Come on, get on the train here.
I can admit to the possibility that they could actually build the concept and have it make it work. Point is, I'd rather that if they're going to introduce new characters, I'd rather they not all be ninjas. Same shit that was going on with Tremor, but they made Tremor work because he was not just a ninja. So give me a melty pool of something that's not ninja-like and call it Chrome. Sure, whatever. I don't care. I'm just against the idea of a silver ninja. You already got a silver ninja. Fuck.
Hey,
I'm just gonna add in there, like, in the spirit of Chameleon's question. To me, I feel like there's another question underneath it. Is do we want to see characters? And my answer to that is I don't really have a stake in that. As long as they're, I don't particularly mind. I don't necessarily want that in the main roster, though, but I don't really have a horse in that race.
Well, here's the thing for me, because then you have to go, well, what NPCs haven't been playable? And it's Kia, Jataka, Taja.
Serena, technically. I mean, unless we're counting.
No, Serena was playable. Serena's been playable.
Oh, yeah, and
You're in
Armageddon.
advance, or was it
Because if Serena was able to go on this list,
that's
I'd be
right.
talking about Serena
And
for the
Terminator.
past 15 minutes.
Shadow Priests. Good
Yeah,
point,
Shadow
guys.
Priests is
Shadow
cool.
Priests. We need a fucking playable Shadow Priest like fucking yesterday, honestly.
That would be sweet.
I mean, technically, Shang is
Technically,
one.
Shang is one of them, but they never even get the guy.
that costume.
What if you pull the hood down, it's Chrome, and then you unmask Chrome, and it's
It's Robert
Hornbuckle? Oh, and then it's...
And then you and then you take off Hornbuckle's pants, and it's just a broom in a man suit.
And then you peel off the
Honestly,
skin and it's meat. I get it.
I'm surprised.
I will say, like, they brought home Hornbuckles, like, his sprite back from MK2 and just stretched it into character size. That would be tight. That'd be awesome.
like Morrigan and most of the crossover.
Like shitty 90s Morgan and Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh my god, yes, nothing but pixels. Nothing but pixels.
Zebra.
But yeah, it's not a topic I feel terribly strong about. But it is a good question, and clearly this could impact us in the future. This is a very relevant topic, honestly. We'll see, though. I'm not really hurt or helped one way or another, though.
I also want to say that we kind of forgot to bring up the old school Nimbus Terraphobe rumor, but we kind of got our Kickboxer and Cobra. Look how that turned out.
Well, I have a thought. If they did, what do they call the skins in Injustice where it's Power Girl instead of Supergirl?
Premier skins?
Premier skins. You could do a no-face Premier skin for Sector.
Okay. Yeah.
No Face.
I get behind that.
Shit. Man, I forgot about No Face. Everyone forgot about No Face. All this Fantasia still gets no love.
All right, let's move on to Battle Sticks. Favorite turtle and thoughts on the Batman Ninja trailer. After hearing the English version, I might watch the Japanese version with subtitles first. Favorite turtle, we can start there. Razor?
I haven't actually tried them out in the game yet, but just in life, my favorite's Raph.
Shad?
Donatello does machines. Oh, yeah.
Temp?
I'll answer for Django first. Django's been using a lot of Donatello. He really likes that character, as you will hear more about in the Warrior Shrine. For myself, from a gameplay perspective, Raphael looks the most interesting. I haven't had time to lab him, but from a pure... If my favorite is probably a tie between Leonardo and Donatello, from a gameplay perspective, I want to play Raph.
Yeah, from just favorite in general, it's between Donatello and Leonardo. And in-game, I haven't really seen much of any of them, but Michelangelo looked like a lot of fun. All right, and thoughts on the Batman Ninja trailer? I'm not really into anime, so I don't know if I really care about it, but
Yeah,
it looks
I haven't
interesting.
seen the trailer either.
I'm somewhat intrigued, but I'm also like, man, Robin's hair looks stupid.
None of that has any reference points with what I understand Batman to be, but I like it for the sheer aesthetics of it. I'm gonna go in blind and just have fun.
Yeah, I might do the same. I mean, could be interesting. All right, we got Ishi Rose. I want to thank Ishi for the birthday gift that he gave me, so shout-outs to Ishi. And then, what would you guys say to a Mortal Kombat co-op action-adventure spin-off highlighting the events of Shinnok's first war against the Elder Gods? And you can play as Raiden and Fujin. You can also queue with an online friend for co-op.
Well, that game would be set in, like, prehistoric times, so Raiden and Fujin would pretty much be the only human characters. Like, I guess you could have, like, some, like, Chinese cavemen who end up becoming the first Shaolin monks or something.
Here's a hint. Here's an idea.
Oh, the raptors. There'd be a whole bunch of raptors in
There'd be
it.
raptors. You could have the other gods that were still around during mythologies. The fire guy.
Well, now,
That
here's
looked
the
really
thing
cool.
about that. It's actually, like, part of the lore that the Shinnok's amulet lets him control wind, earth, water, and fire, so Raiden was the only god who could fight him.
Meh. I mean, maybe you could make the last fight Raiden and play as other people.
Yeah,
I mean, they could fight if he had, like, minions somehow, but I don't think
Or
Shinnok had any
shows-
minions at that time.
Show us gods who died. I mean, for fuck's sake.
Well, no, the
I'm
gods
kind of
died
sick of the
during
godly-
FP4, not during the original.
Meh.
I wouldn't
Well,
personally be
yeah,
interested.
Shinnok had a war against the Elder Gods, and there had to have been casualties. I'm kind of sick of the godly pantheon being Raiden, Fujin, the water guy, the fire guy, and all the other ones we don't know about.
Well, no, I would love
don't
to
know.
see the other gods. I'm just not sure that any of them were involved in that battle. I think you could pick, like, a different time period.
Nah, maybe.
I'll chime in and just say that I would be interested if there were two things. One, if there was actually, like, a really high execution ceiling and you could do some really cool shit. Like, it'd be a co-op game still, but yeah, I would like. I mean, I don't want this to be a beat 'em up. I would want to be able to do interesting inputs and shit.
I mean, that's kind of where Shaolin Monks was going in the first place. So if you made a sequel, I would like it more like complex like a Devil May Cry, but with co-op.
Yes, Devil May Cry is a great example. My second requirement is I would want something a little more open world than actual pure co-op. I would like something like Bloodborne, but for Mortal Kombat. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Agreed on both points, sir.
Yeah,
and I would also, the only thing that I'm not liking about it, I wouldn't want it to be focused on Shinnok's first war against the Elder Gods. Personally, I want something with more characters that I care about. Not that I don't care about Raiden and Fujin. It's just, I don't know. I want... The reason why I liked Shaolin Monks is because it was taking me through the timeline that I actually liked and cared about.
You know what I would, honestly,
what
what I think the best idea they could do for another Shaolin Monks type game is don't retell a past period.
Right.
Put it after MKX. Then you can do anything and not have to worry about contradicting the lore.
Been saying it for years, man. Give Katana, Melina, and Jade their own fucking game.
The
you got 10,000 years to work with. Sorry.
No. I mean, I agree with you. Like Jade missions would be sick. I wouldn't mind seeing them do a separate fire and ice thing now that Sub-Zero and Scorpion are buddies. Like that could be a lot of fun. Where it's just a side story where they're just really fucking shit up.
Yeah, like there's never really been a better time for a Scorpion and Sub-Zero as partners game.
Yeah, and then they do that whole thing from Predator where you son of a bitch. All right.
I was gonna say they do the buddy cop thing where one messes with the radio and they're like, "What music is this?" That'd be tight.
I just want to see them do the fusion dance.
That'd be tight.
All right, we got Mr. Long John. Did you guys see Black Panther yet? If so, how do you feel about the movie and it leading into the Infinity War? Everyone see it here.
I did.
I've seen it.
Yeah, okay, I think we're all here. I'll get my thoughts out of the way real quick. I thought it was a good movie. I didn't think it was amazing, but I thought it was good. I thought it was a nice departure from the formulaic kind of thing that I've been complaining about Marvel movies as for like the past 2 years. And that I feel like they are pretty much par for the course. They're all like good to amazing, but they're all the same good to amazing. None of them really do anything different. I felt like this movie was different. I felt like the focus on the African culture and all of that just gave it a completely different look, a different vibe, different feel. So I really liked that aspect about it, and I thought it was a good story.
See, I feel like there's several Marvel movies come out and you go, it didn't feel like part of the formula. It did this different, it that different. And it's like Doctor Strange doing magic or
Nah.
Thor Ragnarok was very similar to Guardians, but it was also different in some other, like, just, it was still 80s, though. But it's like, see, Black Panther felt like formula to me. The thing is, I'm not bored of the formula. I don't have a problem with it feeling like formula. So it's like, it's not a 10 out of 10, but I really like the movie. I liked it just as much as I like any other Marvel movie. And I like all the Marvel movies except, like, Iron Man 3.
I will also throw out, one thing I did appreciate about it is I felt like it dialed back on the action and put more into the drama and character building department. So I appreciated that.
It was a little more serious than they have been of late. It was more Winter Soldier flavored.
They went into a lot of depth with a great deal of their characters, particularly Killmonger, and I appreciated that. It didn't feel at all like like your typical good versus evil Marvel movie. This one actually just felt like a bunch of fucked up people running around and getting in each other's way, and I really liked Killmonger. Circus was hilarious as Claw. Loved him. Loved him.
Yeah, Claw was my favorite character. I liked M'Baku a lot too.
M'Baku was amazing. Oh god, yes. And they handled the character very well. I know there was a lot of sensitivity issues with calling him the man ape, so they managed to sidestep that. Good on them. Smart. And good soundtrack. I understand that was mostly Kendrick Lamar. Was interested. I checked that out.
I like that because it's rare for a movie to have like all one guy do the soundtrack anymore, where it's like an actual performing artist who does lyrics. Like back in the 80s, you had like Queen did Flash Gordon and Highlander. Prince did all of Batman 89. You don't get that so much anymore. I like that.
All right, Temp, anything to add?
I thought it was good. There are some problems I had with it, but some of them are very spoiler heavy, so we won't worry about that. I liked it a lot. I like the style of protagonist that they did with Black Panther. I think he was a lot of fun. I like that humble but still very emotional. I like the fact that he sounds like an 80-year-old man that's tight.
Temp, you do not understand where we come from in our culture.
It's so good. It's just musical to me.
I think the only real criticism I have about the movie is like it gets a little bit too ugly, neon, bad Tron at times.
Nah, man.
It gets a little.
That.
Yeah,
It gets
I
a
like
little.
They're in
Never too bad.
Well, the only part of that I can think of is like when they're in South Korea, and it's just like that's what South Korea looks like.
Nah, I'm thinking mainly of like the end fight scene on the tunnels and
Oh yeah, that
just like a lot of purple and gold everywhere. It works, but it was a little bit much.
I'm just a sucker for shiny shit.
Glow.
I like glowing shit. I can't help
in
it.
the moment, just thinking back on it, I'm like that last fight scene could have looked a little bit better, but that's all I got.
My favorite visuals were, not to spoil anything, is just and you guys will know what I mean, the visions, how the sky looked in the back of the visions. I thought looked really good, both night and day.
Wakanda was fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
This, like, I came out of that and I was like, that's the prettiest Marvel movie, with the exception of like the fight scenes ever. Like the Panther Spirit World, beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking live in those valleys. It's beautiful. Nah.
I mean, what's interesting is going back to the Tron thing, all four of us are kind of like we're the first post-Star Wars generation. So some of the first things we ever saw as kids were lightsabers on screen. So I think a lot of us were really affected by that. You didn't really see that in other mediums back then.
For me, it's a lot of it comes from like Back to the Future. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that
the
aesthetic.
rails on the DeLorean.
Cyberpunky type stuff. Yeah, I'm a sucker for that.
God, Blade Runner 2049.
Blade Runner. Oh yeah,
it was so good.
Yeah, that movie just looked beautiful. I love the visuals. Anyways, all right, and leading into Infinity War, I think we're all looking forward to Infinity War. So it's coming up. Guess it's a week sooner. So
if you take Thanos and like you just take his head and you put shades on his head, and then you imagine little stick arms and legs coming out of his head, he's a California raisin.
I like the pawn shop Photoshop a lot. That looks really funny to me.
Oh yeah.
All right, go ahead.
No, just something about Thanos, man, or at least about Thanos' action figure. He just looks like he's ready to start farming. I don't know what it is, but like
farming for them.
It's
gems.
off. It's just really off, and he needs to be in his classic outfit.
It's because it reminds you of that time in the comics that he did retire and become a farmer.
Very possible.
I do want to say though, like I'm not super excited for Infinity War because part of me, the child in me especially, wants this to be the big epic that they've been building up to. So kind of starting off the first trailer with the whole casual Fridays Thanos, I don't know if that was the best move. But we'll see. I'm not judging the movie by that, but it's too far away still. I need more time.
If I've learned one thing, it's never get any sort of expectation about a Marvel movie based on its trailer, because it'll constantly say this is going to be the serious one where dark shit happens, and then it's like fucking Ruby Tuesdays. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, all right.
You know, Thanos' design doesn't bother me at all, except they changed his eyes.
Yeah, I agree.
Like in previous movies, he had like Gambit eyes but blue, and now he has like regular human brown eyes.
I think he should borrow Darkseid's hoodie.
Oh man, was it Smoke Man who posted that hilarious fucking hoodie comic?
He never took it off. Yep. So now we're just gonna do a couple more of these. If anybody wanted to come on, it looks like Snake Eyes is listening. If you want to come on, you're put on the spot. If not, cool. We're gonna do a couple more of these and then wrap things up. We got AC3S777, Lucky Sevens. Would anyone else like to see a story arc in the Chaos Realm or Order Realm?
Yes. We miss it. Where is it?
I would like to see Chaos Realm and Order Realm, but I don't know about a story arc that takes place in there, because then you have to come up with a whole bunch of new characters to replace the shitty ones.
I'm ready for it, man. We can only do the fucking run around in Outworld so many times, and we're sitting here complaining about how it's so difficult to top or even equal the likes of Shao Kahn and Shang Tsung. Just fucking go for it. Not everything needs to be a threat to every single realm. Not everything needs to be the one being. Just some shit from elsewhere.
It does have to be a threat to realms people from Earth are from.
Yeah, but I
which
mean,
means Earth.
That's fair. But I'm just saying it doesn't have to be one being eliminate all of existence levels of threat.
No, I guess not. But
that's all I'm saying.
Mean,
just don't be afraid. Just branch out a little bit. That's all.
I would like to see cutscenes set in Order Realm and Chaos Realm because I think they're pretty looking. They've got a very interesting and unique architecture to them in Deception. I would like to see more characters from those places if you can weave them in with the rest of the other characters so they don't feel like they're doing their own thing off to the side that doesn't matter. I think it would be very easy to make a Shao Kahn type villain, except he comes from Sado or Chaos Realm, because those two realms have this like whole Stargate aesthetic that Outworld doesn't have. So there's some really cool things you can do with that. The like techno-Egyptian shit. I don't think you can set the story in there and not like have Earthrealm, Outworld, and Netherrealm be as important as they have been, because those are where all the main characters come from.
Unless we
the foundation.
No, I wouldn't like tone down representation of Outworld or Earthrealm at all. Like, obviously, I keep people from both of those realms or Netherrealm as well that people we love involved. I don't know about setting the whole thing in there, but I mean, it's rare that you have one game out of the MK games where like everything is specifically set in just one area. Like it was the case back in the original trilogy, but like as of late, I don't know. You tend to vacillate a little bit between Earthrealm and Netherrealm, or like there's usually like that one token Netherrealm stage.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
we go
like,
back and forth more these days.
I would like to see like a plot where it's Sado trying to conquer Outworld or Chaos Realm versus Earth. Not just Sado versus Chaos Realm.
Oh God, no, that's not gonna fucking happen. Come on.
Yeah.
Just no one knows what it would look like. I mean, the Chaos Realm is still very undefined. We still don't know a lot about that. I can't even imagine what Sado Chaos Realm would look. Also, like, you can't really have a Chaos Realm protagonist. It'd be very difficult for either realm, really.
I think you could. It's just tricky because here's the thing, like, one of the things that bothered me about the comic is that he made Havoc a one-dimensional evil character, and Havoc is chaotic neutral. In Deception, he's actually on the good guy's side.
Yeah, but the thing about chaotic neutral, there really is no such thing as chaotic neutral. Chaotic neutral to me is just philosophically a different version of evil. It's just more erratic version of evil. Because that's the thing. In the Chaos Realm, you can't have a moral system. It's built on chaos. But in the Order Realm, there is a moral system, but it's twisted. It's basically 1940s Russia, but there's more food. That's make a protagonist out of that. So
I've played enough D&D with. There's always one guy in the party who's like, I want to play chaotic neutral because it means I can be on your side, but I can also steal from the peasants whenever I want.
That's true.
That sounds fun. I can empathize.
Yeah,
with that.
a thief type of character, like somebody who's from the streets, as it were. Like, imagine a Kano who wasn't such an asshole.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, if you ever saw Conan the Destroyer, not a perfect movie, but I like the party. I like recruiting party members and seeing them kind of do their thing at the end and kind of all like finishing their arc. That's a lot of fun to me. So if you have like a chaos party member, okay, cool, I'm in there.
We just had a question asked. Isn't that just Aaron Black, what I just described? I don't think so, because Aaron's too quiet and stoic. Like, you need somebody who's more fucking. I hate to use this example because I don't like the character, but the way they write Harley Quinn these days, where she's borderline a good guy, that's more chaotic neutral. But that's a bad example. What I'm thinking is more like somebody who's like the rogue, like the Han Solo.
Yeah.
Somebody like that is chaotic neutral, I think. Somebody who's very like charismatic and talkative and cheerful and like just doesn't give a shit about the dark times and the angst that's happening around him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
chaotic.
Aaron Black's also hard. Well, what's up? Yeah, come on. Yeah.
I was just going to give an example of chaotic neutral.
Okay.
No, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it
You
now.
weren't gonna? No. You had nothing.
I had. All right.
Is your example John Carpenter?
I guess he's the chaotic neutral of filmmakers. Sure, why not?
Hey, you know,
Chaotic
actually,
neutral is Steve in Stranger Things.
is he the one with the bat?
Chaotic neutral is Han Solo.
Hmm?
I don't think Steve is. If Steve's who I'm thinking of, I don't think he's chaotic neutral though. I think he's just good.
Well, I
he's
think-
neutral good.
I
Han's
will say
chaotic.
Han Solo drifts more into chaotic good as the movies
Yeah.
go on.
I think he kind of always was.
You know what? Ash from Evil Dead, chaotic neutral.
Yeah, he does some
That's
fucked
fair.
up shit.
That's fair.
Johnny's almost chaotic neutral. He's, again, like Han Solo drifts into good.
Well, a neutral character always errs on the side of good if they have to choose. That's kind of the.
How would you?
Yeah.
How would
that's
you
the
define?
point?
How would you define Scorpion?
Scorpion is, I want to say, lawful neutral, drifting occasionally into evil.
Lawful, huh? All right, fair enough.
Well,
Chaotic
yeah,
neutral is Deadpool.
The thing about law as an alignment in D&D is that most people think of it as law-abiding, but it really means disciplined. Scorpion believes in, like, honor to a fault. It's,
Yeah,
like, actually one of his character
absolutely
flaws that he's so, like... bound
Chaotic
up in,
neutral is-
he has to get his revenge as a rule.
Venkman.
Venkman's chaotic neutral, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty much any Bill Murray character, actually, yeah.
I would say Bateman's chaotic evil, but that's me.
There is a way to read that movie where Peter Venkman is the bad guy, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that pretty much spells it out there.
Well,
I
I think we could tackle this next one. I think I know what Lando Mac's talking about. Why does there always sound like a snake laughing on the show? Laugh out loud. No.
Oh God! See, you brought it in here. This is why we keep the doors closed. And then Kenshi Master 16's next question is one that we actually covered earlier, but I'll say it anyways. If the trend continues, who should be the next character to become a reality in the main series as DLC after Scarlet and Tremor? The answer, as we talked about earlier, is Chrome. All right.
We did not reach
Shut
a
up.
consensus on that.
No.
Okay, so now we got Snake Eyes wanting to come on, so let's filter them in here. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. There we go. All right, then we do that, and then we do one of these numbers, and I forgot what I was doing. There we go. Can you... Snake Eyes, are you there?
Snake, am I?
Are you there? You might have to unmute
He needs to
yourself.
unmute himself.
You gotta-
Snake like I can be.
You gotta unmute yourself. You've got 5 seconds.
That's a little harsh.
4.
He says he's not muted. Did we mute him?
Well, it's showing the mute.
read it
We have
out.
this
There we go.
problem
There we
literally
Go
every
ahead and
time.
Hey!
Mic check.
Yes.
Yep, we got you.
Check it, Jack.
What's up?
Awesome. So I had to write this down because I tend to ramble. But check this out. Revamping the power bar in the next Mortal Kombat game. They're not gonna do it, but here's kind of my thoughts. It actually started from a joke I made about a fractal fireball move. So I want the bar to give you more things to spend your actual like pips on, right? So you take it from 3 bars to 4. Each move has 3 EX states. You got your base, you got the EX1, EX2, and EX3. That actually lets you bring in some of the old variations of like some moves, like Sub-Zero had like the ice shower. We never saw again. That could be like an EX2. And EX3 might be the giant flash freeze you saw in the movie.
So
That's
you're
never been
thinking
used.
kind of like...
He
if I
had
were
that
to
in
equate
mythologies,
this...
actually. The big.
Yeah.
So you're
the
thinking
flash
kind of
freeze.
like a tier system,
Polar
a lot
blast.
like, what's his name? Captain Cold has in Injustice, where it gets better as each bar
Yeah,
fills
yeah.
up.
The more bar you spend on it, the crazier the moves can get, and like
So
you can actually
basically-
like swap in
So
different moves.
basically, like Darkstalkers, but yeah.
Yeah, you have like at 2 pips you have like you got your breakers or you got your counter breakers. If you want to go into KI, so like if you want to like spend the 2 bars to like break a combo, or like if Tim's playing the mind games, he can do the counter and call. 4 bars gives you the unscaled X-ray, so you can actually put that into a combo.
I like
or
it.
4 bars also gives you an X-ray escape, so now you've got the wagers. So like, do you have the escape versus your opponent's unscaled one? And the added benefit is that it can reduce the variation system down to 2 variations. And you could bring some of those like special moves from like a variation 3 into the EX states of like variation 1 and 2.
Yeah, with
You know what? I
think
actually
it'd
like
be-
that.
Yeah, I like it a lot as well. I think with the 3 bars, I kind of think at reduced scaling, but maybe not no scaling. But with 4 bars, I think that's fair game. Considering how meter dependent both Injustice and in KX are, I think if you store up your bars, I want my opponent to be scared of my X-ray. I want my opponent to know you better fucking break, because if I end this combo, you're fucking dead. That I think is cool. I like that kind of dangerousness.
Right, yeah, because like that's the problem with your X-rays, right? It's like you can't combo into them because they scale, so it's like that 3 bar is useless to you. So like, make it something real dangerous. Like this has to be your nuke.
I like the idea of a 3 bar like ice rain as well. Like if you have 3 bars instead of 4, Sub-Zero can shoot the ice up and it doesn't come down yet. It comes down in about 5 seconds. But in 5 seconds, you better motherfucking block or you're getting frozen with additional damage. I think that's tight. If you spend the money, you should get something good. That's how I feel about meter systems.
It's also a good way to bring his the Ice Striker from Injustice, his Noob Saibot style like slide, but instead of throwing out the slide, he throws out the striker.
I can't remember that one. Was that a ability?
I think it was an ability.
I don't know if I saw it.
I remember. I think they showed it off when Sub-Zero was coming out. They showed it on the fucking Twitch.
It looks exactly like Noob. Yeah, it looked exactly like Noob Saibot's clone.
Yeah, he sends out a nice clone doing the slide instead of him doing the slide. Yeah.
Oh, that I saw. Yeah, I saw the ice striker slide thing. Yeah, that'd be tight.
Yeah, like let's say Kai's in the game. You know, his base fireball is just 1 base fireball, or like EX2 is basically 3 fireballs. EX3 is 9. So that's your fractal fireball.
No, I'd like it if it stayed on screen. If you spend 3 bars, I feel like it needs to do a lot of damage, or it needs to like.
It's gotta have
like
utility, or like you can't just avoid it, right? So like, it will be like
there are already moves in the game where it's like one thing coming from above or below, and then you have like Shang Tsung's 3 skulls. So if you bring back Shang and you do it this way, then maybe he shoots 1 skull from out of the ground, and the more bars you spend, the more skull eruptions there are. Until you're like filling the screen with lava.
If you, I'm kind of going that direction too. If Shang Tsung spends 3 bars on his up skull, he should get 11 skulls, and they should just keep coming. Like not all at one time. Like the next 7 seconds, you're just dealing with skulls.
Of them. Yeah.
And I'm okay with this. He was a pressure character back then, not really much of a zoner. Well, yeah, go on, Shadow.
I'm okay with this in 3, but I wouldn't fuck with X-rays. I wouldn't break X-rays at all. Because not everyone.
I really like the idea of 3 bars is X-rays as they are now, and 4 bars is X-rays without scaling. Because I do agree with Temp that X-rays need to be better damage.
I wouldn't break them though. I just
if I have 4 bars and you have 4 bars and I can cancel your I don't know about that.
You're not gonna. This is the thing. Not everyone out there is going to be capable of fucking doing insane shit combos that link into X-rays to do 87% damage. That is the shit that scares beginners off.
This is the argument I've had with Temp before about why the game needs breakers.
And this is why Dragon Ball is doing as insanely well as it is right now. It is beginner friendly. It doesn't overwhelm the player with options. They're there, but they're there in a natural, smooth flow. So I'm okay. Like these concepts, they work, they make sense, but you can't drown new players in 25 options. You're gonna scare off future bases.
I see your point. I don't know if it applies to Dragon Ball Fighters because Gohan can get 60% with one bar. So I don't know if I agree with that.
The beginning and the end isn't how much damage a combo can do, Tim. Every game's got broken shit. What do you need to know going into Dragon Ball? This is your dash button. This is your mash for a quick combo button, and this is down forward and another button, and there's a super. There are your gameplay basics. Have fun with that.
Yeah,
And-
I'm a firm believer in games having like a low floor but a high skill ceiling.
That's
So,
pretty
like-
much what Dragon Ball does best.
Right, yeah, it's the one thing I like the most about Blizzard games above all else. It's like it's approachable to everybody, but like, you know, the more you dig into it, the more you can find in there. So like I actually think having 4 pips on your bars would allow to have or better or a higher skill ceiling, but like a lower entry.
Well, I'll propose this, Shadowloo. How about we do more of like a Blaze Blue or a Guilty Gear approach, where you can't just get 4 bars and you have an unscalable X-ray. What if you meet certain requirements that are not, it's like almost like the Soul Calibur 4 fatality system. Not although you don't die, you just lose like 65, 70% of your life. Then you earn the unscaled X-ray. Everyone gets a scaled X-ray with 4 bars, but like, I don't know. Let's say I build pips in other ways, or let's say that I get like I don't even know what it's called, the Soul Calibur 4 guard break if I meet the right requirements. I don't know. Like if I charge that shit up, because I mean in Dragon Ball, charging ki is really unsafe. You never see it, even at low level, much less high level. If you charge your ki, maybe you can. I don't know. I like the idea of having like a dangerous tool and having it look really sick. So
Yeah, I'm always a fan of the nuke, right? Like,
oh yeah.
All right.
but that basically just came out of a StarCraft joke that turned into an MK joke, and now that's where we are.
Cool.
Whenever I hear nuke, I think worms.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea because normally I'm not really open to anything that would change how the bar works because I like it the way it is. But I think you've got some good shit there with like the more than one stage of EX moves, and then like 4 bars so you can have an even better X-ray.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for coming on. Awesome shit.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate it,
Thanks
dude.
for listening. And that will do it for this episode. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. And I don't have anything else to say other than we'll see you in a couple of weeks. And we're getting closer and closer to potential MK11 announcements in May or June or whatever as we get closer to E3.
God, please. Dying here. Oh God.
Injustice is finally done now. We can rest and wait for the next thing.
When is combat time?
Wins
When-
Broly.
Well, no, man. For all we know, there could be a loot box like in the basement of NetherRealm Studios labeled MK11. So we'll fucking see. Fingers crossed.
They're all like pulling the lever on a lottery machine trying to get that box open so they can talk about MK11, but they're not allowed.
Well, the answer to when isn't a combat time, Snake Eyes, is when it's Injustice time. And that for me means it's Miller time.
On that note, see you guys later.
Take care, guys.
Have a good one.
Good night, everybody.